Hey over there, Joe Lunchbox.
And Joy Nightingale.
And today we have landed right here in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Now we've been here 7 years ago now, which is crazy.
Oh my God, it's been 7 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Obviously, we weren't doing videos back then. I was taking photos of all the beautiful scenery and that.
We were seeing stuff.
Yeah. So since then, I've wanted to take my mom here. So that's what we did today. She's inside the visitor center behind us. It is beginning of spring, but it is still a little chilly here. So she wants to stay warm. But we're gonna go walk around. It's a really cool spot. It's beautiful stuff. Lots of history we're gonna show you. I like it because you could go in some old buildings, go up some mountains, cross some train bridges. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a fun day.
Go into other trails.
Yeah, get to see the Appalachian Trail, which one day I'm gonna do in entirety. I'm trying to convince Joy to give up 6 years of her, not 6 years, 6 months of her life to go do the Appalachian Trail. But she's like, how would we be able to make videos and send them to these people for 6 months? I'm like, good point. But we're gonna check out the visitor center. Then we have to take a shuttle bus down to the town part of Harpers Ferry. You could take the buses to battlefields or town. We're just doing the town part today. So step right up. Let's go for this ride. Harpers Ferry National Historical Park. It's been a National Historical Park for 75 years this year.
Yeah.
It's our anniversary. It says it right there. Got our little model here. We're over up there at the visitor center. We're gonna take a shuttle bus down right to this lower town. See the Shenandoah River, the Potomac River connect. Oh no, the shuttle bus is there. Let's go, Joy, let's go. No smoking, eating or drinking, and radio playing on the bus.
That's okay.
Talking to you, hooligan. And you too.
They never said no sleeping or no sprawling out.
Oh no, we can sprawl out when we have the bus all to ourselves.
Take me down the Shenandoah to the...
Sunshine, we're out. We're gonna go check out the buildings, but right now we're heading over to look at the Shenandoah River. Like we showed at the map at the visitor center, Harpers Ferry is where Shenandoah River and the Potomac River meet. We were learning about floods in the early 1900s. There used to be all the industries here. I didn't know that interchangeable parts with guns was started here in Harpers Ferry. It's a new fact.
Color boats out there.
Joy's looking at kayakers in the distance. This is the river, Shenandoah River. I have to say,
I'm gonna go touch it. I want to feel it.
Joy wants to feel the Shenandoah River. Go do it, Joy. Let's go for a little swim.
No, not going.
You gonna pull the tire out to save the environment? How is it, Joy?
Actually,
not too cold?
Not too cold.
Yeah, so we're going swimming?
No.
No, not that warm though. I have to say though, Mom's about to go experience town. If you see the town in the distance, it's one of the most beautiful national historic spots I've ever been. The thing I love about this is obviously you have beautiful views of the river, the other river, but you also have these little stores that you go in, the bookshop, the fancy. They're not all stores, but like little museums. Some are gift shops. Dome Bakers rented this building at least until 1860, where the business was housed on the first floor. A 6 foot by 5 foot stone foundation. Presumably the former location of the oven is still present in the back room.
Wow.
There's an industry museum. We're learning about lock, stock, and barrel, not smoking barrels.
Oh no.
Lock. 2 machines represent those used to machine a lock. All of them, these parts are part of a gun. Showing how they would make guns with interchangeable parts. I love trains. Railroad, 1834 to present. I wish that was still present, railroad.
That would have been cool.
I mean, the railroads are still used, but yeah.
But the train doesn't look like that anymore.
Which train line is it? It is the Winchester Potomac Railroad. I like this little model showing how the mill used the water to run the machinery back in the day.
Obviously nothing.
The button does nothing. I was hoping it moved this thing. That would have been a crazy idea. I love these buildings. It's so cool. Look at these little alleys we walk through. Some flag. Oh, it looks like a printing press. What do we have here?
Maybe just one time. Maybe.
Provost Marshal, Military District of Harpers Ferry.
Can't go in.
Halt. Show your pass. Guess we can't. No. We can't go in. This looks like it would have been cool to check
I
out.
think you can go.
The boarding house is open. Do you want to seek room and board? Yeah. Let's go check it out. Joey was right. We could look in some of the old military stuff. Prisoner status, their name. I like that. What they were charged with. Ooh, a sky parlor. Illustrated and war correspondent arrived in town August 9th, 1864. He was assigned Frank Leslie's illustrated newspaper to cover the military campaign. You see, there's one of the sketches he did. Ooh. I like the old stove. Have the officers' quarters. Nice little bed there. Your little washing pot. I like the foot trunk. It's weird, Joy. The people can't see from the footage, but the building's so old, it feels like you're walking in a fun house. The floors are all warped.
I feel like it's like that was it the illusion thing?
Yeah, the room where you're big on one side, small on the other. I hear you have the other view of that sky room.
Cute.
Ladies, buy your diaper material here. It works like a dream in your new washers. Ooh. Get some food. What are we going in? The dry goods store. We're going in the general store. I love general stores, Joy.
Generally everything there.
I generally have a good time whenever I go into stores like this. I'm gonna generally keep doing bad jokes.
That starts the Civil War.
Oh my God, this is beautiful
Same guy that I
stuff.
talked about a couple minutes ago reached surfaces in 1865. Puts a bullet in the back of the head.
Expect to rate in my store. Do not expect to rate on my floor.
What does it say?
Gentlemen who expect to rate in my store do not expect to rate on my floor.
Okay, interesting. Some cool stuff.
Town changes hands 8 times during the war.
So you might not realize, Joe, 'cause you don't go out in the garage all the time, but this is an old hay rake. I have one of those in the house, which I don't know why, but we do. This one here that has the thing.
So that's their
Cool
story,
life
trying to gain
masks
their own freedom.
by Houdan.
Here's a white guy that's leading them. He loves
Oh, I
to
like
so much
these.
he writes them. Are you guys up for
Yeah,
New England?
stereoscopes.
Were you just from New Hampshire? Well, guess what? So these are New Hampshire, right? So these ladies that probably have never seen a slave or never seen an African American before are now joining this
Looking
fight.
hands.
They make
And
72
life
sewing kits,
masks.
and these are 6 of the originals.
I like these life
in
masks
there.
aren't just
They
masks,
send them.
they're
So you have
full
3
heads.
visions of freedom all wrapped up into one.
Some cool information here at President Lincoln proposed 13th Amendment, which will end slavery in America forever. These colors will never be used again. This town has a lot to do about the slave, I guess trying to get rid of slavery. We're going to go look at stuff that John Brown, an abolitionist, in 1859, he got some men, he broke into an armory to get arms because he was going to arm the slaves for a slave revolt. We'll get to that in a few minutes.
I think you said that these were like one of the original like little sewing kits.
We're learning about stuff like this. Is blue jeans actually real blue jeans, not denim? Denim replaced that. And like this is the first raincoat with vulcanized vulcanized rubber over stuff, and this was invented by Goodyear.
3,200 at the start of the Civil War.
Some of the old cologne.
400 people
Oh,
working at the
look,
Armory.
old
Armory's
cooked soda pop.
There goes business. The park here, the National Park's been here for 75 years.
Oh, that's so cool.
So 1/3 of the town remains.
That's interesting, Joe. If you look, John Brown had 1,000 of these pikes.
Did you
They
guys
look
take
like
a
a
shovel?
spike.
So you saw the
and
36 and
they
a
were
half
made for him by a
tallest foot, 1936.
blacksmith in Connecticut that also was going to fight for those clothes to get rid of slavery. Those weren't ever used in the battle, but he had those when he went his thing. Victorian toys.
Floating down the river.
Here's some little kids' blocks and trains. I like the Nutcracker.
The city or
Try for yourself a sample of Reverend Graham's pure wheat graham cracker. Will cure alcoholism and restore health.
It's called Confectionery.
Okay.
They're doing some baking in there.
Oh, okay.
You'll see that. Feel free to grab one. We just opened the box this morning.
Graham cracker.
Big red crackers.
Hi guys, how are you?
Breakfast of Champions.
Thanks, seeing you all.
Harpers Ferry, place of history. Walking tour today at 2 p.m. Well, we're just gonna walk in, but not to go. Warning: firearms prohibited. National Monument. Look at that old park for sure. Sorry, National Historic was created because people cared. Like this, on June 30th, 1944, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the bill establishing Harpers Ferry National Monument. Remnants of a barrel from the fire that destroyed the U.S. Arsenal on April 18th, 1861. Some crazy stuff. Bang, 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 bang. These guns went bang, bang, bang.
At one point.
6 of the most significant weapons produced by the United States Armory at Harpers Ferry.
Oh, it's different years and stuff like that.
The different years and different guns that were made. This is something I learned today. Sketched by James Burton, Master Armory. That was the start of interchangeable parts for the guns. Joy.
Yes.
I have to say, Harpers Ferry here, it really rocks. Oh, we're learning about the rocks here.
Kind of.
Soft rock, notice the additions, the firelight, and the old stone steps. This is what they first were using.
Yeah, they
No.
didn't change the steps. I think that they only changed the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church,
To
yeah.
more durable. I believe this was metamorphs from sandstone.
Okay. We have a John Brown timeline. I did not know that he was born in Torrington, Connecticut.
He was a Connecticut.
When I went as a little child in Boy Scouts, we went to summer camp in Torrington, Winston. In school, Michigan. Buried at the Brown Farm in New York. Wow. It's cool. Joy found a piece of graffiti, but it's an interesting fact. Like, this isn't part of the real museum, but if you look, obviously painted the walls over the hundreds of years. But someone signed their name there in 1860, so they didn't paint over it and framed it. Step out the store and into history. I am history. Here in Harpers Ferry, as the rivers of the Shenandoah and the Potomac come to a point, as we look at the old fire station where John Brown in 1859 took up that armory to help free slaves, we shall embrace in this history. I should be an animatronic here, Joy.
I think you should do the robot or something.
Telling the history. I would love it. Ooh, we're gonna check out some ready-made clothing.
Oh, I think.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you today?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to the Frankel Brothers Ready-Made Clothing Store.
Thank you.
This is where men and boys would be able to come and buy all of their clothing, pre-made, pre-cut to fit them. Women, of course, at the time were still buying bolts of fabric and making dresses themselves at home or hiring a seamstress to do it.
It's beautiful. I want these, Joy. Look at this old corduroy. I love some of the old umbrellas with the antler handles. They're digging up the old site building so you can see the architecture of it built on top of other buildings.
Oh, cool.
Historic records. Lord Fairfax. So Lord Fairfax was a guy in Europe at the time, and he grants 125 acres to Robert Harper.
I guess because everybody.
The mysteries hidden below. Discovered foundations and determined that it predated the existing building. The clues that lead to archaeologists' conclusion is that the foundation lies beneath the alley walls that suggest early constructions.
Huh.
We were running because we heard the train and I wanted to come see it because I like trains. There it is. It's coming from over there. That tunnel right there is Maryland.
Oh my God.
From Maryland. It's West Virginia right now.
Canadian Pacific Railway.
If you look down, that's the Potomac River, Joy. So where we just filmed the train, the cool thing is that walkway actually is the Appalachian Trail. So it comes down right onto this little train trestle, right through the center of town. So if you're ever hiking it, you get to see the Appalachian Trail. But we're coming to a spot that they call The Point. This is the exact point where the Potomac River and the Shenandoah meet.
I think we just had like on one of the rocks on the other side.
We did. Last time we did go to the other side, we saw the Appalachian Trail, saw the canals.
It was pretty cool.
It's a view that Thomas Jefferson said it was worth coming over the Atlantic Ocean to see when he was here. Yeah. The two rivers merged to form one. So another cool thing besides what Thomas Jefferson said about this spot being worth coming over the Atlantic to see, if you look at that side of the Potomac, that land right there is Virginia. We're standing in West Virginia. And then on that side, that right there is Maryland. So it's a spot where the three states meet. And the two rivers merge to form the Potomac, which goes down right through DC. Here's the building that most people come here to see. The old firehouse, which was the Armory, and those other parts of the Armory. This was John Brown. October 16th, 1959, went to steal the guns to give out to slaves, start a slave revolt. Obviously, he didn't go the way he planned, but this building still is a symbol of freedom to some people today. Pretty cool. It's just history sitting right there. Rebuilt on campus in 1910.
But then it also has a restored.
Because there was, after John Brown took over, there was a fire that destroyed some of it. It's ironic that it was part of the firehouse that was destroyed by a fire. That this nation might have a new birth of freedom, that slavery should be removed forever from American soil. John Brown and his 21 men gave their lives. This tablet is placed on this building, which has since been known as John Brown's Fort by the alumni of Storr College in 1918. I'm looking at the little thin stairs here, but I'm wondering, who stole the railroad spike?
That's why they dropped and ran.
It is pretty cool. Isn't it ironic, Joy? This section, I can't really get the sign, is about John Brown. All right, here. Here we have the John Brown Museum, and firearms are prohibited. But didn't he go to get the firearms? But now they're prohibited? I'm all confused.
Really?
Here are some images of John Brown. The museum, I think it's crazy. This is 1858, and 1 year later, he grew a beard like that. That's like a 3-year-old beard. That's crazy. There was 4 million enslaved African Americans prompted him to take action. Local militia engaged John Brown and his raiders on the ground of the U.S. Armory. See, that was the building we were in? And there they are. Storming party of Marines wounded and seized Brown. 10 of Brown's men died during the raid. But don't worry, because the ones that didn't die during the raid, they were all there to watch the hangings. Crazy information. I did not know that. The fort, John Brown's fort, was actually moved 4 times. It was actually made its way to 1893 Columbian Exposition in Chicago. It was like one of those World's Fair with the big Ferris wheel. H.H. Holmes's house where he would kill people was during that World's Fair time as well. And then it was sold and then sold again to the college, and they restored it, and eventually it moved back to where it originally stood, within 100 feet of its original location. We have one of the slaves with the pikes. And we have a bunch more of the pikes here. We're looking at the replica pikes. We have a genuine John Brown pike.
Oh, there's a fence.
John Brown fired this sharp smile, 1853. I like this. Protest and democracy, talking about other protests about it. Starting from the colonialist march to protest the Parliament Stamp Acts, to women's right to vote, to Martin Luther King, to keep abortion legal. A wetlands exhibit. Taxidermy! We even got taxidermy! We got a gray fox. I like
The muskrat.
the mink versus the muskrat. Wood duck drake. Great blue heron. I'm looking at the little turtle. Am I not turtling enough for the turtle club? I'm a Dana Carvin fan. I can't help it. Some of the fish. Oh, I like this. This right here. This mallard getting ready to take off for flight. But everyone's favorite piece of taxidermy, a stuffed beaver. It reminds me, Joy, every time I see one, of summer camp. We used to sing a song at Camp Coleman going, I'm a beaver, you're a beaver, we're a beaver all. And when we get together, we do the beaver call, and yeah, 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 and yeah. My favorite, trash panda, raccoon. He's my favorite. He's a tiny one. Oh, look, the mink's hiding out. And yeah, I am joking around, like we see all the taxidermy. But the interesting thing is when you notice stuff like these things, the cattails, which are almost extinct in our country. You don't think of like marsh plants that are extinct, but it's interesting. We're still walking around the historic area. It's interesting, the sign right there. That's the entrance to the national park. It's funny how the town starts with the national park ends. But I also like, in the middle of this town, you see this little trail here. And it goes up this way to this church up on this hill. But if you look at this lamppost, it has this white rectangle on it. For people that know, that is the sign for the Appalachian Trail.
Look at that.
This stairway right here, past this old stuff behind this building,
Touching.
and then up that flight of stairs, we are on the Appalachian Trail at the moment. Which is pretty cool how it just goes right through the historic spot.
That's cute.
I've heard about this spot, right? This is the Auburn Fine Repairs. They made a song about this spot, right?
What?
Watchmaker, watchmaker, fix me my watch. No? Yes, it is open. A Burton Fine Watch Repairs.
Is he related to Tim Burton?
I was wondering if he was related to Tim Burton.
Oh, nice.
I just want to hear beep, beep, beep. Which one of these alarms is going off?
And why are these clocks all have different times?
Time isn't on our side, that's why. I like how this one's in the shape of a Thor's hammer.
Battle?
It looks like we're coming to the last parts of the museums here. This is the defeat and victory, the 1862 Battle of Harpers Ferry, which is when Stonewall Jackson came and he seized Harpers Ferry from the north. To counter the Union threats at Harper Ferry, Lee sent General Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson to surround the town. The Confederate movement against Harpers Ferry became the critical turning point of the Maryland campaign. Here we have a map seeing where it is. Like, see, there's Maryland Highlands. The tip of this Camp Hill, that is Harpers Ferry. It is crazy, this little town, and they all just surrounded it. Joy, look at that. This is one type of shell fired from the Union Naval Battery on Maryland Heights. I want to swing this from my ear.
I was like, that's
but this is 100-pound solid shot.
Ooh.
That is pretty heavy. I don't know if I could pick it up, but I would love that in our collection. I know, someone's got a sweet tooth. Look at her, heading up to the confectionery. Oh, if only this food wasn't fake. I could eat some gingerbread man and some pie and some. Oh, hey, okay. We're gonna check out the confectionery.
on it. So he's embarrassed by that. So she's gonna make the best one. The best. We're doing a little baking
Taking
here.
some bread.
Oh, what are we baking today?
Well, we're doing this category. The question is here at the top, because it's Women's History Month, what traditional bread did your grandmother make for you?
Yes.
So here's yeast bread, and that's what this is.
Okay.
And of course, this is a fungus, is what yeast is. In this time period, yeast was not commercially available. You couldn't buy it.
Right.
You had to make it yourself from like the spores that we're breathing right now in the air. Cooks then and even today call this quick breads. And that means that it's chemical leavening. It's not a fungus, it's not this.
Right.
But this one in the center is a little wacky. Not too many people have heard of it. You ever heard of this variety?
No.
Salt rising bread?
No.
While this is a yeast, this is a bacteria.
Oh, wow.
And this is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Reports of people that make this or have seen their grandmother make it, they'll say the whole house smells like something's dead.
Oh.
But it's also dangerous. This is food poisoning.
Right. So I wonder why they would have did that if like the
It's what they
Irish
had.
celebra- Oh, that's all they would have had. Yeah, I guess.
So in this time period, they would make a little tea out of hops. And hops is an antiseptic. And it will kill bacteria, but it won't kill the fungus.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So that's the difference. So
Okay.
like when people in this town or any town were trying to make beer, you hear them talk about pale ales
Yeah.
or India pale ales. If you're trying to ship beer across the ocean from England to India for your troops, you don't want it to rot.
Right.
So you would put the antiseptic in it. You
Oh.
put hops in it to kill the bacteria, but allow the brew to be okay by the time it reaches destination.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah. Right, so in this
Just the
case,
ones
I've got like
that
three,
stick it,
I've
yeah.
got 3 sticks going in here.
Yeah.
And a good bit of ash underneath.
Yeah.
And the firebox is the bottom third, well,
Okay.
the bottom half. And then the smoke and the fire comes this way.
Oh.
Then it travels up here and then across this thin strip and then up this to the chimney.
Oh, wow.
So you are trying to surround your oven.
Yeah.
Here, you can look in here. Come this way. So I put
Okay.
a trivet, just a pie pan upside
Yeah.
down there because this is the firebox.
Right.
There's a fire right there. And I've been
So it'll
burning
be direct
everything.
heat. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep from burning everything.
Oh, I know you got a sweet tooth, Joy. Some wedding cake, or little
Like
jars of good stuff, the pies. I love the old
I love this.
flip counters to get back for. And there it is. Mother Inventions, these special exhibits featuring food arms productions. Crossed the street and look, we are now in the town of Harpers Ferry, out of the historic site.
You found a friend?
Yeah, it's the Harpers Ferry cat.
Oh. Oh no.
We're going up to the old church and I found the cat.
Looks like the coloring of my sweet pea, but not as chunky.
Oh, it just wants love.
Not as chunky as sweet pea.
Yeah, it really wants love. Oh, you don't have to call it. It wants the loving.
Right there? Right behind the ear? Yep. There we go. Right at the ears.
Joy, I know you said you wanted to get a souvenir while here in Harpers Ferry, but you can't take that one. All right.
All right, sweetheart, I gotta go. Okay? It's
Cat,
in my hand.
I know. No, we have to go. We have to go, Cat. It was nice meeting you. But we still have more stuff to see here in Harpers Ferry. Some storage area at one point in time. I like that this is new. You can see the old slate. This metal thing to hold it up because it was collapsing on itself. Spring houses and root cellars. These small caves carved into the shallow cliffside at one time served as spring houses and root cellars. The cooler subsurfaces.
Herbs, vegetables, and fruits. So it'd be
Yeah.
like a refrigerator.
Yeah. We skip down going down these stairs, but these are the stairs. This is the Appalachian Trail. We're going to continue up the Appalachian Trail. We have the old church here. St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church. We can see from on the side of the church, erected October 15th, 1930, then it was rebuilt here. Woo, it's windy! It's rebuilt here, October of 1896. But I like here, this one stone in front. is the original one's cornerstone that they saved to put in front of this.
That's pretty cool. Oh look, and its property has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places. Check that out.
But we do get the good view of Harpers Ferry from up here. I think we're gonna go a little bit higher, but let's just take a minute to look at this cool church. Joey wants to show me to show you the Shenandoah. There it is, the Shenandoah River from up high.
Like the general store and stuff like that.
We were in there. We were in that general store, and it was that building there we went in. Joey, I think we're even gonna go higher.
Oh man.
Gotta get a best view.
Oh man.
I'm almost to where I want to be. We keep going higher. Here it is, Jefferson Rock. So if you look down there, that's where the church was. We came from lower down. We kept coming up the Appalachian Trail right here. See the little white markers on that little pole?
Oh, okay, cool. Yay. I actually saw it.
Hiking up it.
Okay.
If you go 0.6 more miles up there, is the Appalachian Trail Visitor Center.
Oh, cool.
Which is a cool thing that the town of Harpers Ferry. People don't know that. That is the home base, the hub of the Appalachian Trail.
Ooh.
But we're gonna see this thing, Jefferson Rock, right here.
Okay.
On your right comes up the Shenandoah, having ranged along the foot of the mountain 100 miles to seek a vent. On your left approaches the Potomac in quest of a passage also. In the moment of their junction, they rush together against the mountains, rend it asunder, and pass off to the sea. This scene is worth a voyage across the Atlantic. It's how Thomas Jefferson described the view from here during a visit to Harpers Ferry in 1783. Right now, if you look at Jefferson Rock,
Oh, cool.
you see the pillars holding it in place?
Yeah.
Do not climb on the rock. You can fall and die. They have a sign warning you.
Okay.
I did that on purpose.
Jefferson Rock is fragile and dangerous. Climbing Jefferson Rock damages this historic treasure. This rock is unstable, and climbing may result in serious injury or death. And there it is. We hiked to the top. We found Jefferson Rock and the most amazing view. Standing way above the town of Harpers Ferry. You like the view, Joy?
I like the cloud and the sun.
Uh-huh.
The sun like behind the cloud above the mountains over there.
Yeah. I have to say, it is a beautiful view. I'm enjoying looking at this view myself.
Oh my gosh. It's like, I love like the church.
Yeah.
The bridge.
So you definitely recommend if people come to Harpers Ferry, take a few minutes, walk the Appalachian Trail, check out Jefferson Rock?
Definitely take your time to come up here, but yes, definitely like take this all in. This is amazing.
I agree with Joy, take your time getting up here, but I'm not going to take my time getting down. Back in Boy Scouts.
No.
Oh, it's true, Joy. She knows what's coming. She doesn't like it, but I'm going to tell her. So back in Boy Scouts, we used to do something when you would be in a steep hill and you used to watch people try to take the time going down it. And my friend Garrett told me, he's like, no, Joe, you're going to fall if you take your time. The trick is you run super fast and you don't have time to fall. And we used to call it the Last Mohegans run because when you've watched the movie Last Mohegans, they're running along the rock faces. So we have to get back down this hill. It's a mom who's having her cup of coffee. And I am about to do a Last Mohegans run while trying to film.
No.
Hopefully I don't fall and break.
Oh my god, no.
Camera 1,
Camera 2,
camera 2, camera 3. There's a lot of people. I don't know how much I'm gonna run, but we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go fast. We're going for it. We're going for it. And we hit a lot of people. Here we have Harpers House, the mansion on the hill. Robert Harper chose this hillside for his home. The home was completed in 1782. Fortunately, he died He died that same year and never lived here. Harper had no children and left his property to his niece. Yeah, I guess we get to go into the mansion, see the house. We didn't do this last time, Joy.
No, I think it was.
Come on. He could do it. He could do it. Come on.
You know, you are pathetic sometimes.
Go on, get it.
Say pathetic is cute.
There's a lot of dogs in this house.
Yeah.
We're in the mansion. This was supposed to be Harper's house, but it was ended up being his niece's. And we have more dogs. I like the little glass thing here. Beautiful house, though.
It is. It is really nice.
Yeah, I like the wallpaper. They brought a piece so we could really see it up front.
Yeah. No, that's really awesome.
I like this view. This must be one of my favorite views today. There they go.
Washing the dishes. They didn't have a dishwasher.
The McGraw House. James McGraw and his family rented a portion of the Harper House in 1856 for $60 a year. This property included a grocery and a liquor store, rental stables. I like their little rented car.
That is pretty cute.
You like how they rigged up the fireplace to use the old wood burn, like the cast iron one? You can see they did the same thing in here. Got the stove going. Ooh, Joy, it looks like we're having chicken for dinner. My favorite. Wow. So for any of you that come to Harpers Ferry, I did not know this. From the church, you have to come up to enter the Harper House. We didn't do this last time. You can come right up those stairs there, or we came from the other side of town where the stores are. Found a John Brown crushed penny machine. I'm gonna do it now. I actually have an old copper penny from 1962.
You always want to live in.
Let's do it. Gotta line it up first. I don't want that one.
You want that one?
I want the John Brown fort.
Oh, okay. Lined it up.
Lined it up.
I like those hair.
Turn.
We're gonna do it. We're cranking the penny for it.
Never gonna probably.
Okay, we're cranking the penny for the video.
Oh.
Ooh, look at that. I like this Kirsch Lincoln look.
Oh, that's pretty cool looking.
Well, that's beautiful.
It's on a. It looks like because of that, it's on a weird.
It's weird,
angle.
cool, because you still see the penny, and the fort really does it. Because we use the old copper one, so you really see the penny.
That's pretty awesome.
We're getting ready to leave, and we realize we missed this whole section of Lewis and Clark. There's a little section on when Meriwether Lewis arrived at Harpers Ferry, going on the western expansion. There's always more. Much more. Representing listings of Meriwether Lewis Harpers Ferry's acquisitions. I like it.
This was in another building too, back I said.
Interesting sign about Lewis and Clark that Meriwether Lewis arrived March 16, 1803. Oversaw building of collapsible iron-framed skin-clad boats and acquired supplies, tomahawks and rifles. Left for Pennsylvania on April 18th, returned July 7th to gather material. Left next day for Pittsburgh, followed Ohio to Falls, met William Clark for a trip to explore and study land, waterways, animals, life, nature features, resources of the West. That would be the Lewis and Clark's expeditions. Quite interesting. What do we have here? Whitehall Tavern.
Yeah, they said
I want a double.
close ruckus, so they're not allowing me.
Give me a double. Straight. Is the bar closed?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not big enough for Joy and I to dance
Yo, troublemakers like you.
I'm moving along. But I want one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. Ooh, we made it back to the car. We didn't film. We did take the shuttle bus back. Just made it by the Skin Teeth. Mom was looking around a gift shop again, the bookstore we started.
Come on,
Mom,
closing.
last bus, 5:15. We got it. Made it back to the car.
Woohoo!
She's taking care of some stuff before we have this long drive home. So it's just me and Joy right now, saying goodbye to you all for the evening. Is in our exit video. So did you have a good day here in Harpers Ferry, Joy?
Actually did.
Yeah, it was good. It's getting a little chilly now. Sun setting. It still is March. Not quite. Ooh, yeah, that's the wind I'm talking about. Not quite April. Joy, so you ready? We're going to continue down Shenandoah now, Blue Ridge Parkway, go to Luray Caverns tomorrow, then Smoky Mountains and all those things. I know.
would love that, but no.
No, I'm a day early. April Fool's. It's tomorrow. It's March 31st. I know.
That's
I'm
not
joking.
funny. That's so not funny.
I was trying. All right. But we did it. So Harpers Ferry, West Virginia National Historic Park. Been there, done that. Remember, folks, safe travels, good eats.
And live life.
Oh, I want to live life. Yeah.